Hello everybody. In this lecture, we are going to learn advantages of database management system. Before moving into the advantages of database management system, firstly, let us define what database management system is. We know that it is a collection of interrelated data, or simply we can say that it is a software which is designed to store and manage the data. Managing data means what? How we are going to manage the data? Like the DBMS is going to provide some certain set of software tools or the programs wherein which the users are allowed to perform several operations in accessing the data. They can process the data, they can manipulate the data. So this kind of convenient and efficient accessing can be done by the users. And this is what will be the main goal of database management system. That is, the database management system is going to provide both convenient and efficient way of accessing the data from the database for the several set of users. Advantages of database management system. One of the main advantage of using database system is that the organization can exert via DBA. What do you mean by this? Who is DBA here? DBA is the database administrator. Now, what is the role of DBA? The role of DBA is to grant permissions to the several set of users. Which users can access the data? Which set of users can only view the data? So such kind of permissions can be granted by the DBA to the several set of users. Thereby it allows the users in making use of the data, in retrieving the data, and making any kind of modifications to the data. So all these can be done by the users when the DBA will consider the appropriate security measures. Hence, we can say that this is the main advantage of using database management system. Apart from this, we have several other advantages of database management system. Let us see one by one. The first one is reduction of redundancies. Now, what do you mean by the term redundancy? Redundancy means it is the duplication of data. The same copy of data is present in some other location. So such kind of duplications are known as redundancy of data. In database management system, we can reduce the redundancies. For example, if the user is working with the structured database, the DBMS is going to provide a feature to the user in preventing the user when he is trying to input the duplicate item in the database. So such kind of features are enabled by the DBMS, which is the software. Thereby, now coming to improved data integrity and consistency. On the primary advantages of DBMS usage, it improved the data integrity and consistency. What is data integrity? Data integrity says the data in the database must be valid. For this, we need to enforce several integrity constraints. Example, whenever the user is trying to input a value for date of birth column, then the value for date of birth column can never be a past future date. Likewise, we can impose several other integrity constraints. Example, let me take a primary key constraint. Then when a value is inserted for a primary key column, it is not going to allow any null values, or if the same value is repeated again, such kind of values are also not allowed. Primary key constraint is that when we are trying to enter a value, that value must be unique as well as it does not support any null values. This is called integrity. Data integrity is imposed in order to ensure that the data is always valid in the database. And coming to the improved consistency. What is consistency? Consistency is improved in database management system, whereas when we come across the file system, there we can find several inconsistencies of data. Example, let us consider a student who has enrolled into a course and thereby the details of the student is present in the admin office computer system. The same copy of the student details is also maintained by the faculty who is teaching a course to them. After few days, assume that the student has left the college, has taken the TC and left the college. Now the data admin department, the details of the student is no longer required and hence the record of the student is deleted from the main computer system. As the record is deleted in the main computer system, this changes should also reflect in the teacher or the faculty who is storing the details of all the students in a file in the system that is available in their department. If the details of the student who has taken the TC and left the college is not deleted in the, it is located in the computer system of the department, in that case, it leads to inconsistent data because the student is not present in the college, but the details are still in the computer system of the department. This leads to inconsistent data. Whereas in database management system, this never happens. Any updations that is made in a table will definitely reflect in the other places if the same copy of data is found there also. Now coming to enhanced data security. So for enhancing the data security is the main job of DBA, that is database administrator, whose responsibility is to maintain the data secure from the several set of users in accessing the sensitive data. Thereby, the DBA will grant permissions to the set of users who access what type of data. Example, let us take student and faculty here. So the faculty is having more provisions in viewing or accessing the data from the database, whereas the students may not have that provision in accessing the personal details or faculty details. The DBA can grant permissions to the student only in viewing the marks as well as the attendance, whereas the students are restricted. They are not allowed to make any sort of changes or the modifications for the attendance and marks. So such kind of changes can be made or permitted for the faculty by the DBA. It helps to protect the sensitive data from unauthorized accessing or modification or theft. This is how the data security is enhanced in database management system. And coming to data independence, we know that data has to be separated from the database to the users who would like to access from their own user applications. We have several levels in data independence, namely logical level and physical level. In logical level, the changes that are made to the structure of the database, those changes will not actually affect the user applications. Similarly, the changes that are made in the physical level schema will not affect the logical level. This is about the data independence. And the next one is better data backup and recovery. So even if the database system is failed or crashed for some reasons, the database management system has to ensure that the data has remained consistent or it has to recover the data from the failure. For that, it is following several recovery mechanisms. Thereby, it ensures the data to remain consistent. Next is easy to understand. The DBMS is very easy to understand because we don't have any things to bother about because it takes people to carry out many activities, like if you wanted to add any column or you wanted to delete any row or a column name or the structure of the table, and if you wanted to create a number of tables and wanted to mention the relationships among the tables, any sort of storing the data or any kind of changes you make to the data, or anything from the database can be done in an easier manner because we use several set of queries, and that we are going to represent in a straightforward way. And there is nothing which makes complex for the user in creating or accessing the data from the database, and hence it is very easy to understand. Coming to cost effective. Using DBMS is cost effective. It is because we know DBMS is going to reduce several storage duplications or data storage duplications. If data redundancy is reduced, then by default it also reduces the data storage. Then thereby it reduces the overall management cost. Here we need not require any manual effort in entering the data and storing the data in the database. And it is also not required any manual effort in managing the data from the database. Everything is done by the software tools or the programs that is taken care by the database management system. And hence it is cost effective. By this, we can say that the advantages or the benefits make database management system an essential tool for managing and processing the data in different organizations nowadays. Thank you.